How does one become happy in life? People like to say that you hear people say it's money, it's love, it's time, it's freedom, all of those things. But it's really simpler than that. It's a lot simpler than that. But all those things do factor in. And they say money doesn't buy happiness. No, it doesn't. But it buys time. And time buys freedom. And freedom buys the ability to not worry about the future. And that is where happiness comes in. It's the ability to be right here in the present moment. You know, we worry about the future constantly, what we're going to do if such a situation happens, or who we're going to meet, what they're going to think about us. You know, all of that stuff. We worry about a future that isn't even here yet. In fact, the future never gets here. It's always tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. And when the event that we're fretting about arises, actually comes to pass, it's never the same as what we were planning up here. So the future in and of itself never comes to pass. And the past is already gone. It's dead. There's no difference between the past and what's dead. It doesn't exist except up here. So the only other option is to live here in this moment. And that, being present in the moment, being present in the present, is where true happiness lies. To be able to be still and quiet that ever nagging voice in your head that tells you to prepare and anguish over a future event that's never happened and will not happen, at least not in the way that we think it will. That is where happiness lies, to be able to quiet that voice. And it takes practice. It takes practice. But look at it this way. Anxiety, that's living in the future. That's stressing over a future that has not come, will not come, may never come. Depression, and I'm not talking about depression in a clinical sense, in a medical sense. I'm talking about in a mood sense, is living in the past. What happened? How did this affect me? Why can't I get over this? They're two extremes of the same thing. Temporal stress, let's call it. Let's call it temporal stress. You're either stressing about the past or you're stressing about the future. But right here, right in the present, is where you can be balanced and say, I'm not going to worry about the past. The past is already gone. And tomorrow's always tomorrow. I live here and now, right here. So, sure, we can plan for tomorrow without stressing about it. You know, you can save your money for a rainy day. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're constantly stressing day in, day out about a future that never arises and will never come, what's the point? What's the point? You live here and now. Okay? I mean, that would be like me living in northern Texas right now, but I'm worrying about a palm tree in Fiji 2 weeks from now. It's silly when you put it that way. It really is. But that's what we do. That's what we do. We stress out over things that we'll never see. And I mean, we're like, oh, well, what if I do this and this person doesn't like it? So the fuck what? So what? Do it. If they don't like it, fuck them. That's their opinion. So the key to happiness, or one of the keys to happiness, because there are many, and to unlock them all is true bliss. But one of the keys to happiness is living in the moment. And I'm not saying live in the moment as in make stupid decisions. No. Think your decisions out. Weigh your consequences. Yes. Okay, don't do stupid shit. But by live in the moment, I mean enjoy the present. And I'll tell you how to do that. One way to do that is an exercise called mindfulness. And you'll hear many people talk about meditations and mindfulness, and they do work. They do. But I'm talking about a simple way of doing that. That doesn't involve gurus and meditation and all that shit. Okay. I'm talking about a simple practice of bringing yourself to the present. And this is how you bring yourself to the present. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing at that moment, you can still do it. You can still do it. But you take a moment mentally and you think, what am I feeling right now? Where am I right now? What am I doing? Think about, pay attention to your breathing. Okay, because once you start thinking about your breathing, it no longer is an involuntary thing. It becomes voluntary. And all your attention will go to that. Okay, so that's the simplest way to be mindful, is just to pay attention to your breathing. But you can also go, what am I thinking right now? Like literally, what am I thinking right now? What am I seeing around me? For example, for me, I live on a small little homestead. Right now, I'm watching my ducks and a couple of chickens just go about their daily business. I'm looking at a clear blue sky and a early winter forest, mostly bare of leaves, except for the few pine trees that I have. It's a warm day. It's nice. It's quiet. There's not much wind blowing. There are flies buzzing about because it's warmer, but that's okay. You take you take it all in. You take it all in. The sun's shining in my face. It's a little annoying, but it's not bad. It's not horrible. And you just take it all in. And you whether it's good, whether you consider it to be negative, it doesn't matter. You just take it all in and you say, what am I observing? What am I feeling right now? And in that way, you become mindful of your situation, of your present, and of your presence in the present. It's as simple as that.